All right, folks, another huge treat for you here on Do You Know Jack Radio Show with Jack Antonio. I have none other than, according to Rolling Stone, the 69th greatest drummer of all time, Dale Crover. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Now, you guys just released Bases Loaded, June 3rd, 2016. Interesting concept for an album with 6 different bass players, including yourself, sort of filling the role there, man.
That's right. Yeah. We didn't have a bass player that would show up to the studio that day, so I'm like, all right, I guess. No, just kidding. Yeah. Over the last couple of years, we've done a ton of recording. We've got our own studio, and obviously we've recorded with a bunch of different people. So it wasn't our intention going into this record that we were going to use a bunch of different bass players. It just happened to work out that way. Once we looked at all the stuff we'd recorded, we're like, oh, wow, okay, well, we've got this person on this song, this person on that song. And then we had a few more ideas of people that we wanted to play with, so it just all kind of came together that way.
Well, listen, given the fact that there's, different bass players, obviously this has created a very diverse record. So, I mean, let's talk about each person in turn and what they bring to the table on this record. How, let's start with Steve McDonald, for the simple fact that he's the first name on my list. You already mentioned that he plays with Red Cross and Off. So, I mean,
yeah, we've been big Red Cross fans for a long time, a really long time, probably since I first joined the Melvins 32 plus years ago when I first heard Red Cross. I saw them play live back in about 87, and they were absolutely amazing. And he's been a bass player that I've always thought was one of the best in the business. And finally got the opportunity to play with him. We've known Steve for a long time. A few years ago, I filled in on drums for the drummer in his band Off. And we did about a 3-week tour. And we hit it off really well, he and I did. And, I thought, well, if the opportunity ever came up to be able to play with him, then we should do it. So he's absolutely a great bass player. So super fun playing with him.
How about Jared Warren?
Well, Jared has been in the band for a while, and we've done quite a few records with him. Each one of these guys has their own unique style, as does Jared. And Jared's also an amazing lead singer. So when we have him on a track, you get Buzz and Jared both doing lead vocals. And the track that both he and Cody are on Bases Loaded is one of my favorites. It's almost like the Melvins attempt at a pop song. So and that song, yeah, I love it. Love that song.
Yeah, well, I mean, you guys do hold, pop sensibilities, even just thinking to some of the tracks on Hold It In. So it's cool to see that sort of carried forward here at Bases Loaded.
Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily, okay, this track's going to be for this guy, this one's going to be for that guy, this from here, this from there. It just kind of evolved when we were in the studio recording it,
For sure.
Even some of the songs themselves. So, nowadays, since we do have our own studio, we don't do months worth of rehearsal working on new songs, getting them down, going over them with a fine-tooth comb, and then recording them. We'll go in, get the basic idea down, and then start recording.
For sure.
See what happens, see where it goes. And I think that approach, at least for us at this point in the game, it makes it nice and fresh. And well, golly gee, we're professionals, so we can handle it,
Yeah.
And I think it makes the song better.
For sure.
Makes the song better that way. At least for us, Not every band works that way, but like I said, we've been doing this for so long that it's when we go into the studio, we're nowadays not really under any kind of pressure as far as time constraints. Since we own the place, we can set our own hours, So it's done when it's done. But that being said, we don't work on stuff for months and months at a time either.
Yeah.
Do it, get it done. Sounds good. Leave it alone. Move on.
So what does Dale Crover, the bass player, bring to the Melvins on bass?
Well, I play in the very early version of the band, and that's with the first Melvins drummer, Mike Dillard. And we've been doing some stuff with him for a while now. There was a record that came out quite a few years ago called Mangled Demos that was all early demos and recordings and practice tapes of the original band.
Uh-huh.
And that band came together to do some live shows for Joe Biafra's 50th birthday party, minus the original bass player Matt Whippen, who those guys didn't necessarily want to play with. So I offered to play bass, thinking that the material was easy enough that I could play it.
Yeah.
I played guitar for a long time, played since I was 8, and bass is the same thing, just 2 less strings. Hell, you only need 1 string. You know why a bass has 4 strings, right?
Tell me.
Because 3 of them are spares. No, but with that material, Buzz is writing for maybe a little more simple.
Yeah.
In song structure, something that Mike could pick up really easily. Now with Mike, he has a full-time job and a family, and really the only time he can get off to come and do anything with us is during his vacation.
Sure.
So he would come down, we would show him, we would already have the songs done, and we would just show him how it goes and let him sit there and record it till he got it. So, and there was really no pressure for him, not really, just, relax and play how you feel it. So, and then that goes the same with me playing bass. I wasn't really shown anything to play or any of the parts. I just went in and played what I thought sounded good.
Right on. Now, last time we talked a little bit about Pincus, but how did things work out this time around for him? I know he played extensively with you guys on Hold It In, so I mean, there's probably already that comfort there.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think those songs were some that were left over that we didn't finish for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. Most likely because we had plenty of material, extra stuff, and decided we knew we would save whatever we did for the next record. So that stuff was pretty much already done.
Cool. How about Trevor Dunn?
Trevor, same thing. I mean, we'd done a ton of recording with him when we made Freak Cube, mm-hmm. and stuff that we didn't finish, we just had him come back in and finish it up. So.
Speaking of Spinal Tap, isn't Trevor's track the one where you sort of go into that extended jazz fusion thing?
Oh yeah. Well, he's a jazz buff, so we had to. That's his thing. He moved to New York to play jazz.
You flex your own jazz rhythmic chops a little bit yourself, and you're not too shabby, I might add. There must be a little bit of jazz in the playing there somewhere.
Well, thanks. I was just going by feel,
Well, that's all jazz is.
I guess so. Yeah. How easy is that? Oh, I didn't know.
And until you see a Buddy Rich solo, and then your jaw sort of hits the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I saw him play when I was probably about 13, 14, and yeah, my jaw did hit the floor. He's definitely one of the best drummers I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, I mean, we mentioned that Rolling Stone poll that you were in at number 69, but I think Buddy was a big sort of protege of Gene Krupa, and they rate Gene at like number 4 or 5, but I didn't think I saw Buddy Rich anywhere in the top 10, which seemed criminal to me. I mean, that just shows sort of how bizarre maybe the whatever you want to call it, the process is.
That shows you how much Rolling Stone really knows about drums, Obviously, drummers didn't write that because they probably would have had him at the top.
Yeah,
he's always at the top of every list.
I can't see it any other way.
So maybe they were trying to show some drummers that don't always get props.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, there's certainly guys missing from that list, but it's just not a big deal.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, I know that they had a list probably 6 months before that, and that wasn't on it anywhere near on it at all. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to guys that have been on the guitar list, and they've said the exact same thing. So there you go.
Right.
Speaking of not a big deal, though, Chris Novoselic is on this record as well, and that's maybe one of the more unique tracks because it features some of his accordion chops on this thing.
Yeah, exactly. We read an article a couple years ago, and I can't remember what it was, but somehow he's talking about us, and he's like saying that, oh, I'd love to record with those guys, and so we're like, oh, that'd be great, and we worked it out, talked to him, had him come down, and he actually had some songs.
That's
So
awesome.
he's one of the only guys that, maybe besides Pincus, because Pincus definitely helped write stuff, and I guess so did Steve.
For
but,
sure.
But with Chris, he actually brought in a couple of songs that he already had done and wanted us to play on them. So, and that was great. I mean, the track that we did with him was definitely different than anything else on the record. You know,
Yeah.
and it has accordion, which is great. It's the first Melvins record with accordion on it.
He's obviously, a highly talented musician given his past MO. But I mean, it's weird because it seems like he just sort of uncloaks every now and again and works with some people, and then he sort of, goes back and, to wherever he came from.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's necessarily pursuing any kind of a musical career at this point. I think he's just doing it for fun because he likes to every once in a while. And well, I mean, he was already in a band that did really well. So I don't think that at this point it's something that he wants to really get back into. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fun to do that with him, and I'm glad we got to.
For sure. Now I know you guys are big Kiss fans, and you've not really been all that shy about that in the past. I mean, I actually managed to see Kiss July 7th in Edmonton.
Oh, nice.
But then, in my travels, I noticed it's the 20th anniversary of that 5-show run you did with Kiss back in 1996.
Oh, that's coming up, huh? That might have even been right around now, huh?
July 9th to July 14th. It's crazy what you can unearth on the internet.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize it'd been that long, but yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long.
I know. Time just seems to be flying.
Yeah, I know. Once you get older, it just goes faster and faster.
Yeah.
Just got to enjoy things while you can.
For sure.
About that Kiss thing, we certainly had a great time doing that, and it was something that we never thought we'd be able to have happen, So it was amazing that we got to do that.
Did they choose you specifically because they knew about your Kiss fandom, or because, I mean, just looking at some of the other bands, like I know Alice in Chains did some dates with them, and Stabbing Westward did a whole bunch of dates with them. So
yeah, that was certainly part of that, and even before that, we had played live with Gene when we were touring with Primus back in 1993.
Mm-hmm.
He came out and did Going Blind with us at one of the shows.
Ah.
So those guys knew about us, and also we had a product manager that worked for Atlantic that used to be their publicist, and I think she's the one that kind of tipped them to us being Kiss fans and doing the solo records and stuff like that. So they were definitely aware of us, And Gene was actually in this documentary, this Melvins documentary that just came out.
Oh wow!
That some people that we know made. And they actually called up Gene's management and asked if he would be willing to be interviewed, and he said sure. So that was definitely a big thrill. And then his interview too. It's like Gene's a very smart guy, I know people are down on him for whatever, his silver tongue, but Gene actually really knows what's going on, and he's been nothing but nice to us,
Yeah.
And I think for him to make time to do something like that, he'll always be a good guy in my book, no matter what.
Yeah, well, I mean, I not that I'm trying to name drop here, but I mean, I actually got an interview with Gene Simmons on July 1st, and I would definitely entirely concur with you. He was all business, but he was also very friendly and cordial on the phone. So I can, I'll vouch for Gene.
Yeah. I think his motto is, it pays to be nice to everybody. You don't know what might happen in the future.
Yeah.
And the jerk to somebody, they might be the guy that's writing checks to you at some point. So, and I think that's good advice to follow. It doesn't pay to be a jerk to anybody in this business. It's just going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
If you're a nice person and stay that way, then you'll come out ahead. Absolutely.
Awesome, man. Like I said, much appreciated. It was great chatting with you today. And, onward and upward for the Melvins. You guys are keeping yourselves busy, and doing what you want to do the way you want to do it. So, much respect.
Yes, sir. With much more to come. We definitely have lots of plans coming up in the future. Lots of good stuff. Lots of secret stuff I can't really tell you anything about, but it'll be great.